Gobble gobble, everybody. This is the Sliders Review. And since it's November, I shall be talking about Thanksgiving episodes. And today I will be talking about Scream Queens Season 1 Thanksgiving. I've been wanting to talk about this show like forever, and I mean absolutely forever. I absolutely love the first season. I hate the second season. The entire second season is hot garbage. Everything about the second season sucks. The weird new plot, the weird new setting, all of the terrible new characters they added to the show. Like, Ryan Murphy killed his own show. And after that, it was canceled. But Scream Queens was cool. It was a slasher show. And it dealt with like a slasher on the campus of like a college facility. University, my bad. I just got through eating Thanksgiving dinner food. I'm kind of out of it. I'm just like, ugh. And so, like, I actually wanted to talk about this show last month for Halloween, but I wasn't able to because I ran out of time and stuff. So I kind of felt bad going into the Thanksgiving episode because so much has happened. This is like towards the end of the series or season, and it reveals quite a lot. I do plan on reviewing like the first episode, the ghost story episode, and probably the last one, or maybe just do a rundown instead of doing the last one, because the last one's just a lot of filler and exposition and stuff. But yeah, basically it's about like these two twins, and they're like killers, and nobody knows who they are. But then they found out one of them is Boone. Boone was like a friend of theirs and the fraternity guy. Gigi was the one who raised the twins and everything. So, like, this episode starts off where it ended last episode. Chanel is the main character. She is like the richest girl on the show. She's rude, she's nasty, like she's a complete like diva and stuff. And Queen Bee, played by Emma Roberts. And what's interesting is that this was the first time I ever saw Emma in anything. I actually became a fan of a lot of people because of this show that I've never seen before. And so with Emma, you know what's ironic? A little side note. She turned down to play Harley Quinn in the first Suicide Squad movie for this role right here. She probably is regretting that now, seeing how this show only lasted for 2 seasons. But because she kept in close with like Ryan Murphy, she got to be on American Horror Story and like stuff like that. So it's not like she's doing completely bad. And now she has a family and stuff, you know. And so, you know, I gotta say, like, she actually, I don't know if she would make a good Harley Quinn, but she looks a lot like her, especially from the animated series. So that would have been interesting to see her play like that role, you know. But now people just can't like not see Margot Robbie. So yeah. So it starts off in the last episode. She puts Hester down like some stairs, put her body in a meat locker. Chanel has put like so many bodies in the meat locker and have like nearly almost killed so many people and stuff. It's like insane. And so like she's talking to Chad. Chad is like her main boyfriend on and off again. Chad is the strangest character I have ever seen in a show. He constantly cheats on her. He's weird. He's strange. He's dumb. And dead bodies turn him on. And having like clickety clack time with a dead body turns him on even more. And then being in the same room as a dead body turns him on even like more. And it's just like, ugh, they keep trying to make this dude as gross as possible. And so like Chanel is telling him that how much like she loves him and all this other stuff, and Hester is like no more, and like how she wants to spend Thanksgiving with him, but he kind of just wants to do like the whole family thing. And so when she tells him, like, when he's all like, you know, I don't want to have her as like, my baby mama because she has like a neck brace and everything, and she's kind of weird, but you know, I gotta man up. And she's like, well, you don't have to now because she's dead. And he's all like, what? And she's like, I killed her and everything. I killed her for you, Chad. And then so he's all like, so you mean to tell me there's a dead body around somewhere? and I can't get off on that. It's so nasty, but funny at the same time, but mainly nasty. And so like he wants to see the dead body, and she's like, "Fine, I'll show you the dead body, but you can't touch it," and everything. They go down in the freezer, and the body's gone. And Chanel's all like, "How does this keep happening? Where do all the dead bodies keep going?" And he's all like, "Well, maybe it's possible that you didn't kill her and everything." And she got up and walked away. She's like, "No, I'm pretty sure she's dead." He's all like, "Well, did you check her pulse?" She's like, "Well, no, I'm not no medical person." And so like it pretty much goes from there to Gigi. Gigi is making Thanksgiving decorations with the Red Devil. The Red Devil is in full costume. At this time, we do not know who the killer is. The second one, that is. The first one is dead, like I said. Boom. You know what's ironic? I've watched this so many times, and I never realized that the killer revealed their self in this episode is because of something that person says towards the end. And I'm just like, I just now finally heard, because Gigi said something interesting, and then the killer said the same exact thing. And I'm just like, holy crap. The whole thing was revealed this whole time. I never knew it. So anyway, Gigi's talking about how she's thankful to have like the killer there, how that's the only family she has, and you know, I feel sorry I had to make you kill your brother and stuff like that, and blah blah blah. And so the delivery dude comes over with her Thanksgiving dinner, but it's like a quail, I think it is, and it's really tiny. So she asked for one of those little like knife buzzsaw looking things, and then she says something, "Oh, this is great for carving roasted flesh." And then somebody else says the exact same thing towards the end of the episode. I'm just like, holy crap, how did I not know that was the killer? She hands it to the killer, and the killer just looks at her as it like turns on the saw thing. So then we get to Chanel number 3, which is played by Billie Lourd, which is actually Carrie Fisher's daughter. I never knew that. And then like, so I remember like, it was the first time I ever saw her and everything. She's pretty cool. Too bad I'll never get to see her in a whole lot more stuff, but it was really cool. Like, she looks different from Carrie Fisher and stuff. And she doesn't even like sound like her really. But she's really funny in this show because she's more of the blah, like comedic type person, you know, like the monotone type person. And so she has to go home for Thanksgiving like everybody else, but she doesn't want to go there. Now, her family, it's our first time meeting them. Her family, her dad like invented like these like TV dinners and stuff. So she shows up late. He's pissed by that and tells her to go eat with the hired help in the back. And she makes this big speech about how she doesn't want to like eat TV dinners and how she hates eating them every like day. And like cause she barely eats, cause Chanel, the main Chanel, won't let none of the other Chanels eat. Oh, by the way, the main Chanel who likes Chad, she names all her friends Chanel. So Chanel number 3, number 2, number this and that. Number 2 died. No, yeah, number 2, no, I think she died in the first episode. Anyway, that was played by Ariana Grande. There's a lot of famous people in this show. It sucks that it got canceled. So she makes a big speech about how she hates that, and she don't understand why the family calls Italian chicken cacciatore Italian when all chicken cacciatore is Italian. And then she tells them how like there's been like a psycho killer, like, you know, oh, by the way, this is on Hulu. So she tells, you know, so basically she tells them how like, cause a psycho killer been loose around campus for months killing everybody, and nobody's asked her like how she's doing. But you gotta admit, man, that's kind of messed up. Like, cause there's like literally a killer loose, and none of people, family members ever ask, "Hey, how you doing?" and stuff like that, you know. And it's just so weird. Like, this show is very kooky and satire. And it's, think of Animaniacs, but kind of like live action, but not as zany, you know. But a little bit of the zaniness. And so, what's the name? Niecy Nash is not in this episode, sadly. She plays the security guard person, and she is hilarious. So anyway, so she storms off from the house, telling them that like she's going home to be with her real family, and she's referring to the sorority, which she loves to death. And so like we get to finally meet Chad's family. Now, Chad's family is played by a lot of famous people. The wife, God, I forgot her name. But the dad is Alan Thicke. And one of his brothers is Arnold Schwarzenegger's son. You know, the one who dated Miley Cyrus? Dude can't act. He tries. He's just alright. But it was like his first role, and yeah. Anyway, so he's there, and his family is very rude, very spoiled, very rich. They do not want Chanel over there whatsoever. They don't like gold diggers, and they think she's a gold digger, despite her being rich already. But they think she just wants to be richer and everything. So, like, you know, while they're there, they whatchamacallit, they say what they're thankful for. And everybody is just talking about how thankful they are for being rich and being elite and being privileged and like all this other crap. And Chad, he's the only one's all like, he's thankful for the killer being there on campus because so far he is still alive and the killer hasn't come after him yet. And he's very thankful for that. Plus, of course, all the dead bodies, and you know, that's just so nasty. So at some point in time, as like the mom is making fun of Chanel, something interesting happens. Hester shows up back with her back brace and stuff. And so like Chad is like, crap. And Chanel is just like, how are you still alive? I killed you. And so Chad, he doesn't want nobody in the family to know who she is and that she's pregnant. But Chanel keeps saying that Hester's not pregnant because she saw her eat cheese and sushi and all this other stuff. And I can't even say that word. Sushi. That's it. And apparently you're not supposed to eat that crap if you're pregnant. It could kill like the baby or something like that. I don't know. And so like Hester is played by Lea Michele. This is back when I used to like Lea Michele before she Lea Micheled herself last year. And this was my first time ever seeing her in a role. I remember when I first saw her in Glee, I was like, wow, how gorgeous is she? And she can sing. And so her acting, she plays like a crazy person. So it's kind of hard to tell about her acting every now and then, but sometimes it's like okay when she plays it normal. But yeah, this is back when I liked her before she, well, Lea Micheled herself. And so she's talking about how like pushing it down the steps and putting it in the freezer helped us her back and all this other stuff. And she's so weird, man. So basically, long story short, they find out who Hester is because she tells them like she has like, you know, her there's Chad's seed in her and all this other crap. And the mom, my God, the mom's all like, that's not a pregnant belly, that's a poo belly. Lord have mercy. The show is brutal, man. And so like basically what happened is at Chad's family's house, they're playing Pictionary. And well, actually before they play Pictionary, the dad comes in and talks to Chanel. It's all like, I'm gonna buy you off, and so you can leave my family alone and leave my son alone. And he offers her like $50,000, but she refuses it, talking about, you know, I'm rich, right? And he's all like, I'm richer. So they play Pictionary, and the word is supposed to be horse, but somebody wrote on it and put the word whore on there and the word neck. So he's doing the Pictionary thing, and he's pointing at Hester, and the whole family, the entire family, is ripping on Hester, talking about how ugly she is and how fat she is and all that. But she's not even fat, and all this other stuff and how she's disgusting. I'm just like, and you can see the hurt on her face, and Chanel can see it too, because Chanel hates Hester. But this is the time when she forgives her for all the crap that's been going through with them. And she stands up for Hester in a huge inspirational speech. And she tells that entire family off like a queen bee and everything. And then so she leaves with Hester. And now with the dorm, I haven't gotten to that yet. Chanel number 3 comes back and she sees Dean Munch there, played by Jamie Lee Curtis herself. And so they said they're gonna have like Thanksgiving together. So then the rest of the gang shows up because pretty much everybody in the whole sorority has now like been killed, and a lot of the fraternity members too. So there's not that many people left, and the entire campus is like empty except for them. So they're like making like dinner and stuff, and they don't know how to cook a turkey. And then they decide, hey, let's play a game. Let's determine who the killer is, and so they start picking each other. They constantly going back and forth about why they think the other person is the killer. Dean Munch thinks Chanel number 3 is the killer because she saw her in the bathroom at night, or leaving from the bathroom at night with a weird look on her face when this one girl was getting killed. And so she tells her, nah, she just has like a pooping problem. Like she doesn't like to poop around other people. So she waits till everybody is asleep. And then she does it in the middle of the night in the lavatory down like below and stuff. So then they accuse Dean Munch, and because Dean Munch lied about being allergic to bologna and her dead husband and all this other crap. Grace has now shown up. Grace is played by Skylar something. I forget. She played the Three Cuckoos in The Gifted, and so she's kind of like the final girl. And so her dad is there. Her dad is very strange. He's a teacher, but he always spies and stalks his daughter, and he assumes his daughter is the killer and stuff. All because she pledged at the sorority and got rejected. And he thinks she's doing that out of revenge. And then Zayday, played by Keke Palmer. Like Keke shows up in everything. She's dead. Keke don't have much of a role in this episode, but she's just being a sassy like black girl in this episode and live tweeting everything that everybody says because Twitter was a thing back then when I'm getting started up. So then Pete shows up, which is kind of like Grace's boyfriend or whatever, and he accuses the dad of being the killer because turns out that the dad is the father of the twins. So he did a whole bunch of like DNA searches and all this other stuff and weird stuff. And so like as they're going back and forth and just back and forth, then Chanel number 6 shows up, and she's played by Abigail, name I forgot her last name. And so basically she came to eat Thanksgiving dinner there because her parents went on a trip for Thanksgiving and didn't tell her. Speaking of which, Chanel, her parents, when she talked to her mom on the phone, her mom was drunk and it had nothing to do with it. See, the 3 Chanels, the reason why they are the way they are, because even though they're rich and spoiled and rotten, their parents neglect them. So, like, they're all going back and forth all about that. And the Grace and her dad, they have a heart-to-heart about how he didn't know he was the father, that he was wild back in the college days, and it was 90s. And he said people didn't use a condom back then. Whatever. People still don't use a condom. Have you ever seen the Murray show? And so, like, Chanel and Hester shows up, and they're talking, and everybody's talking, and they're getting ready to curve the turkey and stuff. And then somebody, I'm not going to say who, has a knife and getting ready to carve the turkey. And they say this knife is sharp enough to cut through roasted flesh. The same thing Gigi said. So Chanel removes the lid to the turkey display, and everybody is gasping, shocked. Oh, by the way, Chad showed up because he knew they'll be having Thanksgiving dinner over there, and he loves turkey. So anyway, him and Chanel kind of make up a little bit. But yeah, so everybody's shocked and gasped, and they want to like throw up. And why? Somebody chopped Gigi's head off. Well, the killer did. When the killer had that little buzzsaw thingy, chopped her head off and put it on a display. It's gray, it's rotted. The expression on her face is like, oh my God. And you know, I still couldn't believe like how I missed the signs of the killer. Now, one interesting thing about the Red Devil killing is they wear like a Red Devil costume, and they have a chainsaw as their weapon. When you watch this show and you see how this person kills with this chainsaw, man, it's like they have a sword. Like they are doing some amazing stuff. Like this show was amazing in the first season. And it's really sad that it went downhill in the second. Pretty much after the killer is revealed and the killer does his whole monologue thing, some of the characters don't know that. So then it goes into the next season, and all of a sudden it goes from a dorm to a hospital somebody inherited. And Dean Munch like has the Chanels and a couple of other people as like the staff members. And it makes no sense whatsoever. Like, how do they even know how to be nurses? And then they brought in all these new characters, and it was just dumb. And there's a new killer, and the killer from last season helps them figure out who the killer is. But then they have this huge ruse, and then they date one of the other members of the new cast, and it's just dumb. It's all dumb. And the final girl, Grace, from the first season, doesn't even show up in the second. For some reason, she left the show. And she said, I forgot why she said she left. I think she said she wanted to go to college. But then, of course, after that, she just went on to the Gifted. So it had to have been something behind the scenes. And so, like, it was just all weird and out of place. Nobody has spoken as to why the second season did the way it did. But it ruined that show. And it was a great show. There were some really cool things I did like about this episode. It was nice to see the Chanels actually be human for once, you know, because they're so rude and so nasty to everybody in the show. And it's kind of like, oh, so that's why they are the way they are. Their parents literally neglect everything about them and just like throw money in their faces and let them be happy that way. But all they want is like family. And that was really cool, Chanel number 3. To realize her real family isn't even her actual family, it's her sorority sisters. And it's like her dorm is like her literal home and everything. And then like for Chanel, it's kind of hard to root for Chanel because she's so nasty, but she's so funny and good at the same time at it. And so it's kind of like when her mom was so drunk on the phone, it's kind of like, man, it's like she can't even talk because none of their parents asked them how are they doing with the killer on the loose and stuff. Like, and not even really Zayde's parents do that. And Grace, of course, her dad's there, so he cares. And then Pete, her boyfriend, which Pete is played by the dude who was Spencer's first boyfriend in Pretty Little Liars. Remember the poor boy who worked at the country club, but then he got written off? That dude. And so, like, I don't know who Chad is played by. I haven't seen him in anything since. But he looks like Michael Rosenbaum. And so, like I said before, it was quite a shame that this show got canceled. I wish they would have shown like the killings on screen, but having it be like that way was more suspenseful and like, oh my God, like what happened? You know what I'm saying? And so, like, I was really sad to see Gigi go because I really like the actress who plays her. I cannot pronounce her name whatsoever. She is from SNL. I want to say Nazim something something. But anyway, she was Gigi, and she's really funny in this show. And it's just like, man, I wish this show was back. Oh, I missed this show so much. Like the first season, you have to watch it on Hulu. It is so funny. Like it is insanely funny, but it had a hard time trying to get like an audience. But it still got renewed for a second season. Then something strange just happened, and then they went in a completely different direction in the second season, and nobody knows why. And so many people agree the second season sucks so much. Like some of the new cast members was Uncle Jesse from Full House, whatever that dude's name is, I keep forgetting. Christy Alley, and the wolf dude from Twilight movies, Taylor Lautner or something like that. And like it's just they couldn't hold a candle to like the other cast members that we lost. And so like of course like all of the sorority girls that I forget their names, like they like of course they're not even in the second season because they're dead, but none of their family members even like try to like be like, hey, you know what's going on and blah 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 and stuff like that, you know. But it was like a really cool slasher comedy show. And sometimes slashers are really cool when they're just slashery killy, but sometimes there's so much even funner when they're more comedic, like Ash versus Evil Dead. The whole dynamic between like Chad and Chanel is really interesting because she loves him to death, want to marry him and everything. And he only really wants her just to like bang her. And he constantly cheats on her for her to keep going back. And she's this fierce, strong character who's really weak in the head because her strongness comes through anger and sassiness. But it's kind of like if she was so strong, she would literally leave Chad. And when she did leave him, the moment he comes back, she just wants to jump in his arms. But he just wants turkey. And so, like, for some bizarre reason, I forgot to mention Chanel number 3. I think she did some research and found out Charles Manson is her father, which that plot line never made no sense. Sometimes the show can get a little stupid. Now, Chanel number 6, who used to be, I think, number 5, she's the one who's always getting dumped on. She's the one who's constantly stressing out. She's the one who's constantly spazzing out. And like she's the one that Chanel always makes fun of, like constantly. And it's just like it just sucks she didn't have a bigger role in this one. But the ghost story one before that, ooh, she had a really, really cool arc in that. And so like Boone, oh, I never said who Boone's played by. Boone is played by Nick Jonas, which I was actually very shocked and surprised he could act very well in that like show. Cause like he's a singer, you know what I'm saying? I remember when they had that Disney show, I was not feeling none of their acting. And so he actually did like a pretty good job in that. Well, didn't that just fill you up? Well, alrighty, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.